All persons having any business before this honourable court now draw nigh, and give your attendance, and you shall be heard. God save the Queen.
Admission of lawyers. Christina Adzik.
May it please the court, I move that Christina Adzik be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Christina Adzik be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Adrian Brett.
May it please the court, I move that Adrian Brett be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
That Adrian Brett be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Louis John Bridle.
May it please the court, I move that Louis John Bridle be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Louis John Bridle be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Melissa Jane Camp.
May it please the court, I move that Melissa Jane Camp be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Melissa Jane Camp be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Samuel David Clark.
May it please the court, I move that Samuel David Clark be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Samuel David Clark be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Hannah Mary Dawson.
May it please the court, I move that Hannah Mary Dawson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Hannah Mary Dawson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Chiara Danielle Saskia DiCarlo.
May it please the court, I move that Chiara Danielle Saskia DiCarlo be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Chiara Danielle Saskia DiCarlo be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Gania Dib.
May it please the court, I move that Gania Dib be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Garnia Dib be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Rachel Gwen Comrie Farrell.
May it please the court, I move that Rachel Gwen Comrie Farrell be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Rachel Gwen Comrie Farrell be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Madeline Rohini Fisher.
May it please the court, I move that Madeline Rohini Fisher be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Madeline Rohini Fisher be admitted as lawyer of this court.
Ben Jing Fong.
May it please the court, I move that Ben Xing Fong be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ben Xing Fong be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Emiliana Victoria Gallego.
May it please the court, I move that Amelia Victoria Gallego be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Emiliana Victoria Gallego be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Eric Nelson Gonzalez.
May it please the court, I move that Eric Nelson Gonzalez be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Eric Nelson Gonzalez be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Valencia Govenda.
May it please the court, I move that Valencia Govenda be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Valencia Govenda be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Emily Alice Graham.
May it please the court, I move that Emily Alice Graham be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Emily Alice Graham be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Kate Renewey Green.
May it please the court, I move that Kate Renewey Green be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Kate Renewey Green be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Emily Ann Ions.
May it please the court, I move that Emily Ann Ions be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Emily Ann Ions be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alexander Jeffers.
May it please the court, I move that Alexander Jeffers be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Alexander Jeffers be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Adonis Kadur.
May it please the court, I move that Adonis Kadur be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Adonis Kadur be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Juyon Kim.
May it please the court, I move that Juyon Kim be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ju-Yong Kim be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Wayne Wing-Yan Kwok.
May it please the court, I move that Wayne Wing-Yan Kwok be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Wayne Wing-Yan Kok be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Angela Lambros.
May it please the court, I move that Angela Lambros be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Angela Lambros be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Michelle Kitmon Ma.
May it please the court, I move that Michelle Kitmon Ma be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Michelle Kitmon Ma be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Liang Kun Lawrence Mai.
May it please the court, I move that Liang Kun Lawrence Mai be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Leanne Kun Lawrence Mai be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Olivia Cecile Morris.
May it please the court, I move that Olivia Cecile Morris be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Olivia Cecile Morris be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
John Kevin Murphy.
May it please the court, I move that John Kevin Murphy be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let John Kevin Murphy be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Vidhi Nanda.
May it please the court, I move that Vidhi Nanda be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Vidhi Nanda be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Lucy Annabel Hope Nason.
May it please the court, I move that Lucy Annabel Hope Nason be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Lucy Annabel Hope Nason be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jessica Lee O'Brien.
May it please the court, I move that Jessica Lee O'Brien be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jessica Lee O'Brien be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Patrick Ryan O'Brien.
May it please the court, I move that Patrick Ryan O'Brien be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Patrick Ryan O'Brien be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Tamim Rahimi.
May it please the court, I move that Tamim Rahimi be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Tamim Rahimi be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Talia Rodriguez.
May it please the court, I move that Talia Rodriguez be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Talia Rodriguez be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Nicholas Blackstock Ruff.
May it please the court, I move that Nicholas Blackstock Ruff be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Nicholas Blackstock Ruff be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Amila Ifa Noor Aisha Binti Salim Ali Farah.
May it please the court, I move that Amila Ifa Nur Aisha Binti Salim Ali Farah be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Amelia Ifar Nur Aisha Binti Salim Ali Farah be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Veronica Francis Sebesfi.
May it please the court, I move that Veronica Francis Sebesfi be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Veronica Francis Sebesti be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jessica Shao.
May it please the court, I move that Jessica Shao be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jessica Shao be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Katarina Victoria Thompson.
May it please the court, I move that Katarina Victoria Thompson be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Katarina Victoria Thompson be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Alexandra Bryden Verdicchio.
May it please the court, I move that Alexandra Bryden Verdicchio be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Alexandra Bryden Verdicchio be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Adelaide Pearl Wallace.
May it please the court, I move that Adelaide Pearl Wallace be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Adelaide Pearl Wallace be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Tiana Marie Webby.
May it please the court, I move that Tiana Marie Webby be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Tiana Marie Webby be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Ryan Thomas Whittard.
May it please the court, I move that Ryan Thomas Whittard be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Ryan Thomas Whittard be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Yiming Ye.
May it please the court, I move that Yiming Ye be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Yiming Ye be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Jessica Zhang.
May it please the court, I move that Jessica Zhang be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Jessica Zhang be admitted as a lawyer of this court.
Angela Jungbao.
May it please the court, I move that Angela Zhongbao be admitted as a lawyer of this honourable court.
Let Angela Jungbao be admitted as a lawyer of this court. Thank you, Registrar. Now that the formal moving of lawyers has ended, I'd like to warmly welcome you to this virtual admission ceremony at the Supreme Court of New South Wales. Present with me on the bench today, to my right, is Justice Johnson, who is a member of the Common Law Division, and to my left, Justice Parker, who is a member of the Equity Division of the Court. Together, we constitute the court that has, in exercise of its jurisdiction, admitted you to practice. As we gather for this celebration, physically dispersed, I would like to begin by recognising the various traditional lands on which we meet. This ceremony is streamed from the Banco Court, which is located on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I acknowledge these traditional custodians and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. We recognise the long-standing and enduring customs and traditions of Australia's First Nations and acknowledge with deep regret the role our legal system has had in perpetrating many injustices against Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. To all the new lawyers watching today, welcome to the legal profession. This admission ceremony may be different to what you were expecting. These are challenging times when you are unable to be admitted in person. However, your admission, conducted remotely, reflects the agility and adaptability which you will need to possess as lawyers in an age of great change. Notwithstanding the difficulties, this is a time for celebration. You have all worked extremely hard to get to this point through caffeine-fueled nights and obscure problem questions, reading countless wafer-thin pages of textbook and more cases than you can hope to remember. You've entered the world of eggshell skulls, encountered a mysterious, reasonable person, and have understood the Constitution consists of so much more than the vibe of the thing. In becoming a lawyer, you have joined a centuries-old profession with ancient origins. The custom of advocates swearing an admission oath dates back to the 12th century. This court first admitted lawyers to practice in 1824, and by 1830 the names of lawyers were entered onto rolls in this state. You have now become part of this tradition almost 200 years later. Perhaps for some of you, that is how long it feels like you've been studying. For many of you also, the support of your family and friends has been invaluable. No doubt they have also been, from time to time, on the receiving end of your finely polished skills of argument and persuasion. I do hope you take the time to thank them today. The oath or affirmation you have made before this ceremony is a serious one and deserves solemn regard. Whether you work in private practice, at the bar, in a community legal centre, or in an entirely different field, you should be known for your honesty, your integrity, and your commitment to justice. It is in acknowledgement of these weighty responsibilities that we observe today's unique formalities, including the moving of lawyers and our somewhat unusual choice of fashion. On a lighter note, on one occasion some years ago, a young member of the audience asked if we were doing Santa photos after the ceremony. I was very sorry to disappoint. However, although we mark this occasion with formality and tradition, not everything in the legal profession remains unchanging. You'll be unsurprised to hear that over the past year and a half, we've had to adapt quite a bit, as you see today. COVID-19 has meant a rapid shift to increased use of virtual courtroom setups and technology to ensure access to justice continues in the midst of a pandemic. Things don't always go smoothly, as those with me on the bench can undoubtedly attest to. There have been real difficulties to grapple with in terms of open justice, effective communication and fairness to participants. And occasionally a lawyer might even get stuck behind a Zoom kitten filter. But for all the challenges we are facing, the impetus is greater than ever before for us to prioritise flexibility and accessibility. Better use of technology and increased working from home arrangements have profound implication for how our legal system interacts with many people, including those in rural or remote areas, those with a disability, mental conditions or carers' responsibilities. As the newest members of the profession, you are at the forefront of innovation in the law and have a unique opportunity to see through changes so that justice is done openly and equitably. There are, of course, other changes that deserve attention. When we think of the diversity of the legal profession, we counter the duality that we have come very far and that much still needs to be done. Though women were originally not permitted to practice, since 2018, women have made up more than half of all the solicitors with a practising certificate in New South Wales and currently make up 63% of solicitors under the age of 30. Women occupy many of the most senior positions in the law, including, of course, the Chief Justice of Australia. However, women continue to face challenges of representation, including amongst judges of this court and, for example, amongst barristers in speaking roles in the High Court of Australia. It is heartening to see, on the other hand, that the local court of New South Wales has almost achieved gender parity amongst magistrates, but we must not be complacent about these issues. There are other noticeable diversity concerns that we must face head-on. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and people from diverse cultural backgrounds continue to be alarmingly underrepresented in the legal profession, and particularly within the ranks of the judiciary and senior counsel. We must also be alert to barriers to the profession for people from less privileged backgrounds. Law should not be a profession for the wealthy, and the idea that students may be dissuaded from studying law by the cost of the law degree, which this year has again increased, is troubling. Not just this, but we'll only achieve a truly diverse profession when barriers to advancement are broken down and people from different backgrounds are properly supported in a collegiate and inclusive environment free from harassment and discrimination. These issues are fundamental to a just and transparent legal system and to the legitimacy of the rule of law. We need diverse representation amongst advocates and judges so that all people who become involved in our justice system can be properly heard and truly and fairly engaged with by a system reflective of our broader community. Despite these challenges, there is real scope for change. There is far greater diversity of background amongst junior lawyers than those who have been around for as long as me. You are in a unique position as new lawyers who are entering the profession at a time when more than ever your words and actions are having an impact for good. You are being heard and taken seriously when you agitate to correct injustices, whether it be speaking out against unsustainable working cultures, sexual harassment or bullying within the profession, unfair laws or systemic failings affecting our society's most vulnerable. I urge you to continue to speak up for these things. They do matter. You are the future of the profession and will steer the direction it will take. As a lawyer, you will also need to make difficult ethical decisions at times. With regard to our personal characteristics, lawyers have been the butt of jokes for centuries. Some would say there are, of course, only a few lawyer jokes, the rest are true stories. But jokes aside, you must use the tools you have developed to think critically and not compromise on your fundamental duties to the court and the administration of justice and other ethical duties you must uphold. Now that you're lawyers, you can get paid to argue instead of just arguing for free. Of course, there is a lot more to it than that. You're an advisor, a problem solver, a mediator, and an advocate for the marginalised. As you go about your day-to-day work, remember that you're not merely dealing with the law in a vacuum, but law as it applies to people's lives. For this reason, you must strive to deliver legal services competently and fearlessly, with courtesy and integrity. Justice Gageler, before he was a High Court judge, once said, "You must be prepared to give the same answer to the same questions for the same reasons, no matter who asks the question or for what purpose or in what context the asking may occur." This is foundational to upholding the rule of law. For those of you who will practice law, the way you communicate information to others will have profound consequences for access to justice. For a non-lawyer, law is often incomprehensible. One of your roles as a lawyer will be to make law accessible to others, sometimes by deciphering legal complexities, other times by deciphering poor legal drafting, and sometimes both. One thing you will regrettably strike throughout your career is legislation which seems carefully crafted with the sole object of ensuring that no one can understand it. Your task is not just to understand it, but to explain it clearly to those whose rights and interests are affected by it. As lawyers, we must not keep the law locked up as something knowable only to us. A client reading your advice should be empowered to understand your meaning, not mystified and confused. So be clear and concise in your writing and your speaking. Plain English is powerful. Consider, do I really need to say aforementioned or herewith? Must I sprinkle in that Latin phrase? Should I really use double negatives, tautologies, and wordy clauses that take up a whole page? I'd suggest that the answer to these questions is almost always no. The best advocates can make their points simply and succinctly. Some of the most experienced lawyers and judges could from time to time use that reminder, but don't pick up their bad habits. I also want to speak about failure. I would not be surprised if there are quite a few overachievers and perfectionists watching the live stream today. Even so, at various points of your career, you will make mistakes, some minor, some more serious. When you do make mistakes, your commitment to honesty, integrity, and the administration of justice means you must take responsibility, correct what you can, and learn from those errors. You must fail at times in order to grow. What is important is that you try not to make the same mistake twice. I myself have made many mistakes over the years, far too many to remember. Even as Chief Justice, my decisions have on occasions been successfully appealed to the High Court. At this point, I usually grip my teeth and remind myself that it's not a legal fiction that the High Court is never wrong. But indeed, even dissenting judgments can from time to time become the law. Finally, I want to emphasise that your mental health is extremely important. This may sound unexpected at this type of ceremony, but the law is not everything. There may be times when you feel overwhelmed, burnt out or distressed. If you do, you should not be afraid to seek professional help or take a step back when you need to. Also remember that the law is a collegiate profession, and in times of difficulties, the support of your peers will prove invaluable. I found that out throughout my career. Although you might find it hard to believe, I was admitted quite a long time ago. I lost my first case, and I lost many more after that. But throughout my 35 years in practice, I could always count on the other barristers in my chambers to share my disappointment at the unfairness of the verdict, the sly tactics of opposing counsel, and most often, I regret to say, the obtuseness of the judge or judges before whom I was appearing. I hasten to add I don't include either of my fellow judges on the bench in that comment. On behalf of all the judges of the Supreme Court, and particularly those sitting with me today, I once again congratulate you on your admission and welcome you to the legal profession. The Court will now adjourn.